We're approaching the summit.
Looks pretty, doesn't it? Really lovely. I love all the colours. I'm going to break it for you so you can see how lovely and gooey it is. Hi everyone, I hope you had a good weekend and you managed to see our last vlog, which was our first vlog, so that was really exciting. We've still got a flood warning in force, and today we're supposed to be on off drizzle, and the sun has just come out, so I'm going to make a mad dash for it outside and restock the garden feeders in the back garden. At the moment we're feeding them dried mealworms, which is a really good way of attracting robins because robins go mad for mealworms. This one I can't lift up because the bag splits, but it is sunflower hearts. They just look like that. And that one, the blackbirds tend to really like that one. Peanuts, and the peanuts go into the peanut feeder, which hangs. Hopefully the squirrels don't get to eat all of them, and these ones, the blue tits, go really mad for. I find that the suet blocks are actually better than the suet balls. I just find the suet blocks are a little bit more weather resistant, so they kind of hold together for a bit longer. Blue sky. I love these eucalyptus seed pods. Have you seen them? They're so pretty.
Which ones?
Up here, look, if you just turn the camera and go straight up to the blue sky. So pretty. Oh, and I have to say, these S-shaped hooks, you can just get them on Amazon, get them anywhere, but they are so handy because it allows you to just put your feeders wherever, and I always found that having this on an actual branch was a bit of a pain, but this is just so much easier to kind of take on and off, so I really recommend. Oh. I think that's finished.
Yeah.
Woo, gonna get blown away.
Absolutely freezing.
The wind is really cold. The blue tits will go for this, but actually it's the woodpecker. He absolutely loves.
Yeah, he does.
He loves this feeder, and he loves the nuts in it. He comes in and goes mad for it. Time to start cracking on with the Christmas tree. It's got to go away. Bringing in the boxes.
A large-scale logistics operation.
and this year I want to try and kind of just reorganize some of the boxes as well. So I think I might do them in color, whites and silvers. I really love these kind of clear boxes. I think these ones are from IKEA, but they are really handy for storing Christmas decorations, because then if you stack them, you can just walk in to the attic space and just see immediately what it is that you want. But I am still going to just label them, just so that if there's anything kind of in the middle or that's got buried a bit, that I'll kind of know what is in there.
Christmas is officially over.
So we'll get some fresh things out into the house, even though we'll feel a bit bare. It always feels a bit bare, doesn't it, for the first couple of days. But then we'll get some nice spring bulbs out, and it will really freshen the place up, and we'll get zesty and fresh and ready for spring. So nearly there with the Christmas tree. These bags are really great. They are just, I think, clothes storage bags. But if you have got picks or, kind of like that foliage that's, you can tuck into the trees, or you can use in garlands or wreaths or anything, and you want to store things flat, then I always find that this particular type of kind of storage bag is actually really good, because you can just lie them flat, and then they're not like protected from being squashed. But then typically what I'll do is, once the Christmas tree box is in the storage area, then I'll just put this on top of that, and it's perfectly fine. So it certainly has been a very blustery and stormy day, so I'm glad that we are able to stay indoors today. It was very productive and I managed to get the majority of the decorations down. I've put the labels on the boxes so they're all nicely labelled and organised so that at the end of the year I can easily find stuff and get stuff out that I need. What's for dinner?
Homemade lamb rogan josh.
Oh,
with homemade naan breads.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, it's going to be a good one. I made the curry last night. Always leave it in the fridge for 24 hours. It's always that little bit tastier, isn't it?
And Mars does make a very nice naan bread. So a nice warm curry, which is perfect for a really cold, wet, blustery day. Isn't that? Gardener's quiz and puzzle book. Oh, it's nice. Hey, look at this. It's got all the illustrations in it. Isn't that lovely?
Out of focus.
Oh. Success. We got some little plants for the hallway, so we'll be able to refresh that pot when we get back.
Thankfully the rains have passed us by, so we should have a clear run back.
Yeah, I hope so. And then we're expecting more rain tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
And into tomorrow, so we're on a weather alert for that time. So that'll be a perfect day to be able to do a little bit of indoor planting. Out at a garden centre and got blasted by this cold. I was like, oh my goodness. And then we got in the car and it just never warmed up, and the rain and the drizzle and kind of been
just damp and
a
bit funny.
Yeah. I'm gonna make some cookies. I keep a trusty batch of cookie dough in the fridge, which I make whenever I get a chance. And this one is dark chocolate, milk chocolate, pecan, hazelnut and coffee, but we can't really decide if we can taste the coffee or not. But it's lovely to bake the cookies on demand when you need them, because then they come out really nice and hot from the oven, and I just love that. They're in for about 12 minutes, and that's normally enough time for them to be able to be still melted chocolate in the middle, which is really delicious. I'm going to break it for you so you can see how lovely and gooey it is. Yeah, and then
nice and hot.
The recipe is just so simple. We get a lot of cookies out of it. So out of that dough, we'll probably get maybe 20 to 22, 24 cookies, something around there. And there's nothing else in here. You know there's no extra anything in here.
Yeah.
And it doesn't taste too sugary, does it?
That's not sugar at all.
Yeah. Right, let's get this pot sorted out. It's looking very sorry for itself. It's been very neglected over Christmas. Olive's gonna help.
Always.
These planting trays are really super handy. So even if you're living in a flat or something like that where you don't need one for the actual garden, I would really recommend getting one. They're just gardening trays, so you can just go into any garden centre and just ask them where their gardening trays are. You can get loads of different sizes, but they are really, really useful if you're gonna do any indoor planting, because obviously it does catch the mess, and then you can just shake it out. I'm not sure why this spider plant is looking so unhappy. I'm gonna cut all these dead leaves off, and then I'm gonna give them some TLC.
Don't photobomb the shot, Leopold.
Another thing for indoor plants is if you've got plants that, like these, like it to be quite damp, and if you've got plants that do like it quite damp, so not your palms and things, but just check which ones, then you can actually add some vermiculite, which is this stuff. And this is really good for retaining, kind of making the soil, keeping the soil damp. Sprinkle it into the soil and just work it in. And typically your indoor plants will be drying out more in the actual winter. So it's kind of really nice to have a little bit of vermiculite in your soil to just keep them nice and damp. That's it, we'll give it a nice mist. And I think, are you going to go and do the basil now?
Yeah, I'm going to brave the elements outside.
So if you make a mixture of Ecoworm, just think about the more water you're adding, you're adding water from the tap, so obviously it's going to be either hard or soft, or it's going to have a lot of chlorine, and then you're just flushing that through your soil all the time. And when you're dealing with a pot of this size, you think about how quickly you're flushing through all the nutrients in that soil. So it's really, really important to just kind of regularly fertilize or regularly add nutrients back into the soil. So hopefully Mars can make up a little Ecoworm solution, which is the organic stuff that we use, which we really love, and it will just really give these guys a good start to life. It's looking really lush and full again for spring, really pretty. All these coloured ones are Phytonias, and they like it they're quite tropical plants. They like it quite misty and quite damp. But they come in so many variegations. You can see all the pinks, and I love this lime green with the strong pink through it. There's a white and green one there, and this one was a Sigonium, something like that. Looks pretty, doesn't it? Really lovely. I love all the colours.
Really wild and windy today. I'm heading out to our studio. This is basically the area that we treat as our greenhouse. Kirsten's already in here, and it's crazy. So I'm going to be planting out some basil today.
Yes, as Miles was saying, this is our studio space. I think it was originally an old barn, and the previous, so you can see that's why it's got the really high ceilings. They're absolutely lovely, the original oak beams. Now we've kind of just converted it into more of a kind of a greenhouse storage area. So on that side, we've put some racks in, and we've got some pumpkins that we've grown in the garden. We've got some crates underneath where we keep our potatoes, garlic, shallots. So that's everything that we harvest for our winter veg goes on that side. And then on this side, we've got the other racks, which we put next to the window, which is we use for our seedlings. We'll start to seed out in February and March, and grow all of our own veg. So we start them from seed and we put them on the seed trays here. And then we've also rigged it up to have some LED lights underneath to keep the light going, so that they have got lots of light to get them nice and strong. And then we've got the doors out behind me to the back garden.
So the reason that we're doing our basil today is because, as Kirsten said, we use this as our kind of greenhouse, but it doesn't get as warm as a greenhouse. Germination is often a little bit difficult, which is why we only do stuff in February. The nice thing about the basil, the good thing about the basil, is that it needs a temperature of 15 to 20 degrees to actually germinate. So that's going to go into our garden room where the temperatures are at a good 18, 19, 20 degrees. It'll just get going really quickly. The really handy thing about this variety, which we actually stumbled across, it's called lettuce leaf basil. Last year we seeded this out more or less the same time as this year in February, and it was still really healthy up until about October. Then it started to peter away and started to die away. So we're going to reseed it again this year, and the actual flavor of this basil is terrific.
But there's been so many rainbows today. This is like the 5th rainbow we've seen. The last one we saw was a perfect arch. We could see both ends. Look at the size of this. This was a tree at one stage, obviously. And these are the roots of it. That was the base of it. And then it tipped over at some stage, obviously a long time ago, but you can still see all the roots and underneath the base of the tree. And then there's the tree, and look, it's all just kind of grown into the wood now. One of the really beautiful things about the woodlands in Wales is that we have so much lichen, and the diversity of lichen you get is so incredible. It almost kind of looks like a whole coral reef system. I mean, it's just all so different and really beautiful. It keeps drizzling, but now I actually think it's starting to rain. But that's okay.
That's all right.
It's still fun. We've got fairly waterproof clothes on.
I think what's really nice is that this is a new walk for us. It's something that we just discovered recently. And we last did this in the autumn, so it was all golden.
Yeah.
It's remarkable how different it looks now with all the trees are there. Yeah. It's actually quite nice where they're swinging kind of in the wind with the blue sky.
Yeah, look over there.
And I'm really looking forward to now seeing how it changes in spring. Apparently there's a lot of bluebells that come out here in the spring.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely be out here, and then we'll come out in the summer again, and we'll have the full kind of seasons of this wood. It's just so nice, so quiet.
It's definitely a hill walk, but
yeah,
it's just so, I don't know, interesting. Come down just recently, right?
It looks like it. Yeah, because they normally chainsaw and clear these parts, so it is a managed walk. We're approaching the summit.
The summit.
The air is getting thinner, and you can see the actual trees have all thinned out now up above us.
Well, that's kind of true.
It is true, completely.
I don't think it's got anything to do with the elevation.
The summit is probably less impressive than anything else, but at least we have got to the top of the hill.
Yeah. wind go through your hair. I'm definitely feeling the wind through the hair today. They've kind of cut out big oak leaf shapes from wood and put them down here. This one's kind of half buried. Isn't it lovely? Actually really good as a step. And there's another one right at the bottom. If I slipped, stop recording. Like, this is the second one. I love woodland art like this. There's quite a lot of it in Wales, isn't there? We never noticed it.
Yeah, there is.
But in Wales, whenever we go into like really remote woodlands, we randomly find bits of kind of wood sculptures and natural artwork. It's really lovely. So I think we're going to wrap up the vlog here because it's a nice way to end, and we're on the descent now.
Yeah.
And honestly, we're just going to finish up this walk and go home and have a cup of tea.
And another cookie.
And another chocolate cookie, and you've already seen that, so I don't think you need to see it again. But we really hope you've enjoyed this week's vlog, and it's been a little bit different to last week's.
I hope that you enjoyed today's wintry walk. We've got a lot of other walks that we've got planned that we'll be able to show you the seasons as they change.
Yeah.
So thanks very much for joining us on this week's vlog.
Thanks for watching, guys.
And we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week. Bye.